I was about to go to sleep. So I'm tired. It's about 1:45 in the morning, but I'm tired. I was gonna go to sleep and I was just gonna say forget it, but then I said, let me make a video. Hopefully somebody out there understand and watch and really feel what I have to say, okay? Because this is kind of important. It's kind of important. I just want to touch on it. Not a thing that's on my mind. I just go out and say it. And I gotta say this. Let me turn on this radio because it's on the quiet storm right now. Hold on, I gotta press the pause here. Alright, y'all, I'm back. Alright, had to go on and turn on that radio, even though it's playing Quiet Storm. I love the Quiet Storm. What I want to talk about is 2014, and there are already people on both sides of the console wars saying which is better. We knew this was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen early. Matter of fact, it probably happened about a month ago. It probably even happened after they started even getting the console. You know, after they get their respected console. PS4 is better. Xbox One is better. Such is better. You're not even thinking about how on both sides of each console, respectively, that there may be issues at launch. The launch consoles, you know, are going to have issues. Launch consoles are going to have issues. I believe if it's not software, then it's hardware. From what I hear of the Xbox, I heard a lot about the controller. The sticks are too loose. The buttons are more wider. The bump between the bumper and the triggers, they're more wider. You know. And people talking about they still have a battery pack or whatever, things like that. People, this is gonna be a long video. So stay with me, y'all. They're talking about how the Xbox One Connect, for instance, can't read sometimes when you say Xbox on, or Xbox go home or stuff like that. It doesn't recognize the voice, at first and all. You have to do it a few times for it to recognize. Okay? That's one of the issues. Another issue is maybe the TV thing and all, there so many issues that people are talking about. But I haven't heard not one thing about the hardware problems. I haven't heard nothing about hardware yet, even though I got to go on YouTube and search more videos about that. But I haven't heard of hardware problems yet. I just heard a little this, a little that, whatever about the Xbox One. God, I just thought of something, and the stall thing. This is the one thing I want to touch on with the Xbox One. People were saying that when you're online, if you was to put a disc into a tray, it would install right away. It would check to see if it's a legit disc, and then it will install. And the problem is when you put a game when you're online and you put a game in the tray and it starts to install automatically, it may take up to an hour and a half to 2 hours for it to install, depending on how big the game, as far as gigabytes. And that's another thing I want to touch on too, but I might talk about that later. Why does it take an hour and a half to 2 hours to install a game when online, and it takes a few minutes offline, to install the game? Why is that so? Why is that? Now, that has nothing really to do with internet connection. That really has nothing to do with internet connection. That is that's a hardware thing. That's a hardware. Well, I guess you could call that a hardware problem. Then I said at first that may not, there may not be no hardware problems with the Xbox, but that sounds more like a hardware thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. It could be a software, but I think it's more of a hardware. You know, because it has to install from the game. I mean, why does it have to install? First of all, the game is on the disk. Why does it have to install into the hard drive when the game is already on the disk? It's not a DRM. You know, it's not a digital copy. It is a disc. It is a game on a disc. And that's another thing I'm going to be touching on too is the DRM. Why does every single game? We're talking about games that may be over 30 gigabytes of hard drive. Of course, online, I guess, it's going to take a long time. Especially when you have more people like that's trying to install or whatever. Maybe that's what it could be. Maybe that's why it takes so long. Because you got all these millions of people that's trying to install the game at the same time as you. And you know what? They even talking about this. They even said this. They said a better time to install a game onto a hard drive is way in the early hours of the morning. So I believe that it is it could be it's an internet thing. It's something to do with the internet. Because that's what someone said. Wait until early hours in the morning to install the game to a hard drive. Then it would be like, instead of waiting about an hour, maybe about 15 minutes to half an hour. Which is still a long time, for, a game and all. But you got to think about it too. Like I said, we're talking about 30, 45 gigabytes of a game being installed into your hard drive. So that's a lot. That's one thing. The 500 gigabyte hard drive, the internal gigabyte hard drive. And also, there is for what I know so far, there will be no external hard drives. Sucks, right? That sucks. So if you buy games and the games are like 30 to 45 gigabytes of hard drive, you can only put about maybe 6 to 8 games. And then another thing is that's really fucked up is that I don't know how much memory you have. Because it doesn't say it on the Xbox One interface. And there's no way to check to see how many gigabytes you have left over. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of messed up, man. Microsoft wanted to make sure that this time around, and this is the reason why Microsoft was very careful in how they made this Xbox One. They wanted to stop piracy. That is the only reason why, they done all of this with the installing game into the hard drive and checking the game out, and all this with the internet and all this DRM shit just to stop piracy. They tried their damnedest to stop piracy. I guarantee somebody right now is figuring out how to get backup games to the Xbox One. It may be months down the line, but it's going to happen. Trust me. We got these nerds out here, and they're on the case. They are on the case. Okay? So, Microsoft, if you was trying to stop piracy, guess what? You failed. Because it's going to happen on Xbox One too. It's just a matter of time. It is just a matter of time. Like it or not, Microsoft, it's going to happen. Okay? The DRM, the microtransactions, listen, it already happened on the Xbox 360. We already know about microtransactions. We know that it happens in-game. We know that you have to buy the contact, all this content in-game, whatever. We know about that. Because that is what Microsoft is about money. They're making sure to squeeze every little cent that you can get into their games. The add-ons and everything else that you don't want to wait to get that you want it right away. You got to have it right away. So, people can't be patient. They want their stuff right away. They want their add-ons. They want their DLC right away. So we knew that Microsoft was going to just throw that in there, that microtransactions. So that is not a surprise. That is not a surprise. But the digital media, they said they was going to, they said they was going to throw away with it. And guess what? It's still here. I believe it's going to get even stronger than ever. At one point in time, Microsoft wanted to have all games DRM, and they wanted to they didn't want to do the disc thing, but they added on the disc anyway, because of the Blu-ray. I guess that's the reason why they added this, because of the Blu-ray drive. So you can play Blu-ray. They wanted to make sure to compare up to the PS4 as much as possible, but PS4 is a much powerful system, and I'm going to get on that in a minute. But let me wrap up Microsoft here. The controller looks good. It looks good. They have a better D-pad, but the sticks, from what I hear, is very loose, and they have a dead zone in the sticks. They have a dead zone. There's dead zones in the Xbox 360 controllers too. You would notice that. You would notice that in game sometimes there's a dead zone. It may happen for a few seconds, But when I was playing basically every game I played, especially on Skyrim, I had a lot of dead zones in Skyrim. It just happens like that. You know what I'm saying? The controller just will stop. It will stop working. The stick would stop working, not the controller, but the stick would just stop working. Sometimes even the controller itself would just stop. Even when my battery pack has got a full bar, it would just stop. That's just the way that is with the controller. So, for it to carry on to this $500 console, it's kind of messed up. I understand when people are complaining. I understand that, but it's kind of messed up. But yeah, that was no surprise. You know what I'm saying? Microsoft is trying to cut corners. They didn't want to spend too much on the console, knowing that it needed more of an improvement than what it has right now. But they was cutting corners. And anybody can tell you that. So that's it about, the console is much bigger. I actually seen one. I went to a friend's house and I actually seen it. I thought that was his cable box at first. He told me that is the Xbox One console. I looked at it, I said, damn, this fucking thing is huge. It is enormous. Much bigger than the Slim. It's like a Slim and a half. That's what it actually is. It's a Slim and a half. It's huge. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna even say Slim. Compared to the Xbox One, the Xbox original, the original Xbox, the first Xbox that came out, compared to that, and that's what it looks like. I can't explain it in more detail than that. It is exactly the original Xbox. The thing is a big freaking monster of a damn console. I didn't expect it to be that big, but, whatever. And how can Microsoft have this big console and it doesn't even have, it's not even better as far as specs goes than the PS4? Why you got this big console that doesn't have the better specs, better running system than the PS4? You would think if the console's bigger, everything else is better. Nope. But so I would say, to wrap up Xbox here, I would say if you're going to get the Xbox have better exclusives. I think the Titanfall and the Halo thing that's coming out, and There's a lot of other exclusives going. Quantum Break. A lot of other exclusives coming out for the Xbox One. But as far as the console itself and the controller, it needs a lot of improvement. I hope they have a second version of the Xbox One to come on later on down the line. But for right now, it needs software upgrades. And, if you're going to make more consoles, make them a little bit better. Spend a little bit more money and make the hardware a little bit better. And the controllers, the sticks shouldn't be so loose. Make that better, okay? So, as far as the Xbox, I'll say, it's a lower standard console, a lower standard next-gen console, but with better exclusives, okay? So that's what I wrap up with the Xbox One. PS4, okay? PS4 has much better specs, and, it's a much better, smoother interface. A lot of people have said about the PS4 having, it's much better on, I ain't going to say better online, but it's a better, smoother interface. As far as the game installs go, they are quicker. It's a lot that the PS4 has that the Xbox One console does not have. But I'm going to talk about like I'm talking about right now, the pros and cons of each system, okay? And I'm, just to be unbiased, because I'm not going to just, I'm not just going to say the PS4 is better because I've never really been a PS4 gamer, but I know about it because friends of mine have it. And I played NBA and NBA and Madden on the PS4, and so I know what the difference is. The console is smaller. The console is smaller, and that is something that is probably good. It's pretty good. But the one thing about the PS4 that's different than the Xbox One is that it wobbles. It is not leveled. If you put it on a flat surface, it will wobble. How could you not? This is 2014. All it takes is some rubber edges, some rubber round edges or whatever, to basically, straighten out the console when you put it on flat surface. Why should it wobble? Why should it wobble? I mean, that's nothing but a few dollars. All you have to do is just, stick it on, the corners of the PS4, and then, have it, not so wobbly or whatever. Straighten it out, But they didn't do that. So when you get it, it's going to wobble. The controller is smaller. The controller is much smaller. I think that the controller, I am a person myself. I've been used to the Xbox 360 controller. You know what I'm saying? I've been used to it for years. I'm glad that there was a difference between the original Xbox controller to the PS3, the Xbox 360 controller, because the original Xbox controller was huge, just like that console, huge. The Xbox 360 controller was smaller, and they had everything better in place and all. You didn't have to stretch your fingers out to go and press any bumpers or anything like that. Everything was nice and smooth right into your hands. And I got hooked into the Xbox, the 360 controller right away. The PS4 is very small. If you have big hands, like I do, my hands are enormous. My fingers are enormous, okay? Almost like the Big Shows, okay? And to try to play on a console, on this controller, with the fingers and all, trying to, I got to bend my fingers. I got to have my fingers so uncomfortable to play on the PS3 or on the PS4 controller. It's very hard to do that, especially when you're so used to having your thumb on the one side and your fingers on another side. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to do that and then go from a smaller controller and to have your fingers in different areas of a different controller. It's very hard if your fingers are big, like mine. You know, I was trying to show you a demonstration of it, but I can't right now. But you will realize that once you get the PS4 controller. You will realize that. If your fingers are not small, then it may be good for you. You know what I'm saying? But if your fingers are small and you've been playing on the Xbox 360 controller and you go from the Xbox 360 to the PS4, you may notice a difference. Just where everything is at on the PS4 controller. It's just going to be a difference. People say they didn't like the DualShock. You know, and I was seeing gameplay. I see a lot of gameplay footage on both the Xbox One and on the PS4. And I noticed what people were saying of both consoles. The PS4, from what I have seen and what I have learned, is they have a lot of things that are better than on the Xbox One. But here's the flaw of the PS3. I mean the PS4. Why I keep saying PS4? PS3. PS4, they have no better exclusive than the Xbox One. Besides your Killzone and whatever else, your knack. The Xbox One, for some reason, I'm sorry, it went to pause for a minute. Let me get back to what I was saying. What was I going? Okay, the Xbox 360 controllers. Okay, the controllers, the Xbox One controllers. I don't know if where I left off on that, but I was saying about how, you know, it is, if you have big hands, you know, and you're playing on the Xbox One controllers, it's smoother than what's on the, you know, it's better fitting your hands. I mean, it's more comfortable than on the small PS4 controller. You know what I'm saying? But people are saying, and this is what, you know, I have seen, that they like, this is the reason why the PS4 is selling more of the Xbox One, because of what the PS4 can do. You know, it doesn't have a better interface than the Xbox One, but it's everything is more smoother. Everything is more smoother. You know, but it has no games. It doesn't really have games right now. So, you know, I just wanted to say that, to say this. Don't judge on what console is better until months down the line. Then you actually see the difference, because let's not forget, too, the PS4, everybody's saying the PS4 won the battle. The PS4 won the battle. But y'all remember that the PS4 was hacked. Not once, but twice. I think even 3 times. So, you know, we heard a story that, you know, the Xbox 360 servers might have been hacked one time or whatever, but nothing really happened. PS3 servers was hacked, credit card information was took and all like that. So, you know, let's not just jump and say, well, the PS4 is better because it's selling more consoles. Well, it's also selling in more countries. And Walmart and Best Buy and them and Amazon, they ship worldwide. So you got to think about that factor. You know what I'm saying? The Xbox One doesn't sell in countries like the PS4 does. So you got to put that in the factor. But when you buy a Xbox One, you got to look and see that console is huge. It is enormous. And it would be better for you to install games offline. This is what you need to do. Do the update first. Do the update on the Xbox One, and all, and see the interface, whatever. When everything's done with the updates, this is what I would do. I would turn off the console, take out the internet port, and install the game that way. Take out the internet port, turn the console on, then install the game. Because you are going to have the games faster installed offline than you will online. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have the game start offline than you will online. So that will be your benefit, the factor, when buying the Xbox One, because 2 hours to install a game is crazy. That's just insane. It doesn't make no sense to really do all that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I would do if I were you. PS4, you don't have no problems with that. No problems. The game will install right away, and you're good to go. That's with any game. It'll install in a matter of minutes. With Xbox One, matter of hours. And I've been an Xbox One gamer ever since Halo 2. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still going to stick with Xbox for one game and one game only. And that is Elder Scrolls Online. I've been waiting for that to come for the Xbox 360. And I thought it was going to come for the Xbox 360. But now that I heard it's for the Xbox One, I have to get that game. And I have to get that system. Only because of that. I don't give a shit about Rise. I don't give a damn about Dead Space or Dead Rising or whatever. I don't care about Forza Motorsports or whatever. Call of Duty Ghosts have too big of maps on there for me to care about it on any system. I don't care what it is. The Wii U, PS4, or the Xbox One. You know what I'm saying? I want to buy a system that has better exclusives. And the one game that will make me buy that system. Killzone is not it. Killzone is not that system, the game to go to buy that system. It's not it. Okay? As far as the Xbox One, Rise is not it. Dead Rising 3 is not it. Forza 5 is not it. Okay? For the PS4, NAC is not it. No. So, there's that one game. I will probably in the meantime, I will get Call of Duty Ghosts just to play that for a while, and maybe Rise just to play that for a while, whatever, until Elder Scrolls come out. But after that, it's done. I am not playing anything else but Elder Scrolls Online all day, every day. I'm an RPG gamer. So, yeah. So, this is what I'm going to wrap up with the PS4. The PS4, if you want a smoother console that has better specs, faster service, better interface, you know, but doesn't have any good exclusive games. Mostly, you know, the multiplats is on that console. You know, buy a PS4 if you want a better console, but with barely any good games to play. Buy an Xbox One if you want to play better games, but doesn't have the better hard drive as the PS4. So I would give Xbox One and, yeah, okay, you know, like, yeah, you know, PS4, yeah. That's all I would say about that. Xbox One, okay. PS4, yeah. So I don't know what that would mean to you, but that's what both consoles mean to me right now. And besides, I just want a next-gen console, so I'm just going to buy an Xbox One anyway. And I know PS4s are selling now. You can't really go buy that at Walmart and all the other stores right now. I mean, I may have to go on Amazon right now if they still have any on there. If I was to get a PS4, Xbox One's all over the damn place. So yeah, you basically won't even have a choice but to buy the Xbox One because they all over. So this is my Almost. Matter of fact, it's 30-minute video, and I probably won't be doing this for a while, but this is the best summary of both consoles that I can give to you. You know, you may have different opinions, and I appreciate your opinions. Comment on below. Let me know what's your experience on the Xbox One, and let me know what's your experience on the PS4. I don't have either console yet, but I will eventually begin the PS4 because of that Elder Scrolls Online. Damn good looking game. So, alright, I'm out. This is my 30-minute video, and boy, this was a long one, wasn't it? I hope y'all didn't fall asleep on me.